Most conversations stay between people, and we don't even notice the interactions or the language as being shaped by something larger. The relational discursive loop came out of conversations as a resource, as a tool, as a way to imagine how our everyday conversations, how our everyday interactions are connected to the larger structural and systemic processes. The relational discursive loop is a way to connect those spaces, the larger social systemic space with the everyday interactional space. The bridging space between our interactions and utterances and the larger social system and structures are the rules and the stories that we have collectively created. So as we move through the relational discursive loop, we notice that conversations and interactions where understanding happens, where meaning is made, comes to be shaped by the hidden rules and the stories. What happens when we move intentionally to the second part of the loop? This is where people's stories, their meanings, their stories of their identities, their stories of belonging, their stories of how projects should be done, etc., come to rest. And we make visible their implicit rules, their understandings. And this is where new meanings get created. And then what happens when we intentionally look at and examine the larger social systems and structures? When we do this, it expands out the conversation and the interaction to be inclusive, where people feel they belong and their identities, their stories of their culture, the stories of their context are revealed as part of our everyday interaction and engagement. When we examine the larger systems and structures, we invite people into conversations about how these systems and structures impact their identity. And in that moment, we shift the culture of our workplace because the conversation is more inclusive as we get curious how racism, sexism, heteronormativity discourses shape our identity. So next time when you're having a conversation, notice where are you speaking from? Notice where is the other person speaking from? And ask questions from the other spaces. Questions like, how is this conversation going for you? What are we not talking about? What are we missing out given your positionality? Questions that acknowledge people's identities and where they're coming from, and unpacking the larger social systems and structures in their lives create a culture of belonging and a culture of connection.